Hello, Yella.
Good afternoon. It's amazing to have all of you with us. Here at Brightstar, we focus on personal and leadership development with the hope that it will help you to win at work and life. And our end goal always is that we will experience true joy. So may we also experience this in our session today. Welcome also to Chris de Beer. We are very excited about your theme for this afternoon. Thank you, Chris.
It's a big pleasure, Amanda. I'm looking forward to chatting with all of you. Today is about priorities, and I think a part of the theme is what I thought is a life well lived. Could sum it up. Why is this important? Maybe just let's start off the conversation. When you hear the word priorities, why do you actually think it is important? Why is this even in a discussion? Amanda?
I think it helps us to sift the important stuff from the perhaps not so important stuff.
Okay, so that's one point. So there's, what I'm hearing from you is there's stuff in life that is important and there's stuff that's not so important. And we need to have, we need to be able to differentiate between these two things. Any other thoughts?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I find myself in between prioritizing things that's already on my list as to coming to a space where I have a sift before they go onto my list. I don't know if it makes sense. Prioritizing things I have to do, and if I can change my mindset to what is important before they come onto the list. I don't know.
Okay, so now I think I understand what you're saying. But what I'm also hearing,
if I hear the word priority in my mind, I immediately go to what are the things that's already written on my list and which one of those are more important now. Where if I can get to a space where I think what is important before it becomes part of my list.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing with you is actually the importance of being proactive and not continuously reactive in how we design our days. Any other thoughts?
For me, the scripture that comes to my mind is Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And if you think about your life purpose, God made you for a purpose, and your purpose is found in him. And I think, we just need to seek him for guidance and for leading. And of course, follow his principles. You seek first the kingdom of God and all his, his principles. You seek his principles. And I think his principles is about priorities. And God first in my life, and then of course my spouse, and then my children, and then my work and everything else. Okay.
I like what you're saying there. And what's quite interesting is if you look at the creation account, human beings being created in the image of God, and we having a purpose, each one of us having a purpose. It's interesting if you go do a word study in the Bible, the word that is used for sin mostly in the Bible, right? It's the Hebrew word chata, and I think in the Greek it's hamartia, and that word means to miss your goal. Just that's quite profound. I don't know for you guys, but for me that's at least very profound, right? So you chata when you miss your goal. It's like, let me give you an example. When Jesus stands and there's the woman that's been caught with adultery, right? Everybody wants to stone her, And then Jesus says, whoever, is sinless, go, and you can throw the first rock, and then everybody disappears. And then he tells that woman, he says, go now and don't hamartia anymore. He's basically telling her, go now and stop missing your goal. So if we were created for a goal, a purpose, and we've got goals in life, that means there's certain things that we have to focus on, and we need to let the rest go, because you can't keep yourself busy with everything. It's just physically impossible. Is there any other thoughts? Okay,
Chris,
so
Chris,
oh, yes.
Chris, I wanted to
Yeah.
add the word, if when you ask for what do you need priorities, and I wanted to say survival.
Ja, verseker, definitely. And let me just double click on that, right? So here's the challenge. A lot of people today is wasting the one life that they have. I'm just going to say that again. A lot of people today, they are wasting the one life that they have because they're keeping themselves busy with stupid stuff, if I can put it bluntly. And there are many reasons for this. So some of the reasons is the nature of work has changed in the last, or has taken a new form in the last, let's say 50 or to 100 years. When what I mean by that is, in the first couple of thousand years in the human civilization's history, most people did manual labor. Most people did manual labor. Now, what has changed is that a lot of people today are not doing manual labor, they're actually doing knowledge work. So they talk about we live in a knowledge economy. And I almost, if I would take a guess, then I would probably guess that almost everybody in this room does actually one form or another form of knowledge work. If you are a lawyer, you're doing knowledge work. If you are a teacher, you're busy with knowledge work. If you are a consultant, knowledge work. If you are a doctor, knowledge work. If you are basically any form of professional, almost, what's beroep? Help me quickly. I struggle. Occupation these days are busy with knowledge work. If you are in the services industry, knowledge work. Now, why do I say this? Because here's the point. The rules, the productivity rules for knowledge work is different than the rules for manual labor. And a lot of people are trying to be productive and using manual labor's rules on knowledge work, and it's killing them. There's a reason why burnout the last couple of years has reached an all-time high, right? I think we use, one of the apps we use is an app called Asana. I don't know if you knows the app. It's a project management tool and a task management tool. And they've conducted quite a wide research study, and they have found that I think it's about 2/3 of people using their tool, and there's thousands of professional people using that tool, but almost 2/3 of the people using that tool has either burnt out in the last couple of years or are on the brink of burning out. And so that's massive, right? And that's just one study. I mean, you can look. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that people are experiencing burnout in the last 10 years at a space that's almost ridiculous. So that's one of the challenges. The other challenge is that we are we are extremely distracted. Oh, do we only have 3 minutes? Well, let me then go faster. Sorry. If you need to go, you're more than willing. Julle is welkom te gaan. Okay, let me get this on track. So the other thing is that we are probably the most distracted generation that has ever lived in history. And the reason is all the technology around us, and the cell phone is a very big culprit. As amazing as it is, it's distracting us. Because you see, with knowledge work, one of your superpowers is focus. So distraction becomes a real problem. And here's the other thing is, if you don't prioritize, you will always be in the trap of distraction. You will always use the wrong rules. Just to give you an example, the problem, one of the rules with manual labor is there's a beginning and an end. If I plow a field, you know, there's a beginning and an end. Knowledge work has no beginning and no end. There's just work. There's just work and work and work and work. So I can sit down for 8 hours and do very little work in knowledge work if I'm constantly distracted. Or I could actually be focused for 3 to 4 hours and get a lot of work done with knowledge work. But the whole point is that there are a lot of different reasons why we struggle, and we need priorities. We need a way to prioritize so that we can focus, so that we can manage our energy and our time. It's not just time management. You actually have to manage your energy as well. And just for time's sake, there are a couple of things that I really think helps us with priorities. The first thing, if you really, on a personal level, you want to understand priorities, go and draw up a life plan. You can just Google life plan. It's a great way to just figure out what's important in your life. How do you have to, you know, and what do you have to focus on? The other thing I would say for priorities is you need to get what they call a life management system, right? And what I mean by this is you need to have a way where you can get the most important things done first. That's like the golden rule in productivity. If you study productivity with knowledge work, it's get the most important things done first. But there's two presuppositions in that sentence. It presupposes you know what is the most important, and it presupposes you know how to do that first. And you actually need a work management system, you know, to help you really to define what's most important, right? To design your weeks and architect your weeks around that, to reduce all the distraction and the clutter and things that's taking away your focus, and to execute on a day-to-day basis. I think those two things, is, at least for me, I found very helpful. If on one side you go and you create a life plan, and on a second side, on the other hand, you can go and put a life management system in place so that you're constantly busy with your top priorities and not with other nonsense. Some great books to read for this, because I think my time is up about. Some great reading material. Michael Hyatt, you can go check his book out, Free to Focus. And Living Forward. He's got the Living Forward is about a life plan. Free to Focus is especially with regards to teams. The other one, a great book to read, is Matt Perman, and the book's name is What's Best Next. That is really a great book. It is also, and it is how, and what's interesting about Matt Perman, his book is how the gospel changes our view on productivity and priorities. And he helps you to design that life management system. So I would refer people to Michael Hyatt, Living Forward, Free to Focus, 2 books, and Matt Perman, What's Best Next. If you want to look at other writers with regards to productivity, there's obviously a lot of other guys who's very good as well. David Allen, he is a really profound guy. And he wrote a book, The Next Best Thing. but there are many of them, of these guys, and but those are, I think, a couple of authors you can just look up, and that should help you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. You did well on fast forward now. Thank you for inspiring us to live a life well. A life well lived. That it's a beautiful title for this talk. If you want to see the recording of today, it will be on our YouTube channel, Brightstar Lifestyle. You're welcome to see to like and share also. And then you are welcome to go if you need to go now. We'll have a few minutes still available if you want to ask any questions or any comments for Chris. Thank you so much.